What's up, guys? It's Sunday once again, so it's time to keep on moving on and grinding through this CD collection. We're still in the H section. Just going to jump right into this. First up, we have a band out of Chicago, Illinois. This is Her Worst Nightmare with their self-titled full length. This is a hardcore project, very thrash heavy sound going on in their style of hardcore. They bring in some death metal elements as well. Pretty solid stuff here from Her Worst Nightmare. Funny, well, I guess not really funny, but a little side note is the drummer from this band, Jason, is actually the one that printed up any of you that got like care packages from me that had the Classy Metal stickers in it. He actually printed all of those stickers up. I am currently out, just about out of those stickers, so at some point I need to do a little refresh. I have some other stuff I want to do as well, but then I have their 2020 EP entitled Ominous. I don't know if they've put out anything since this EP. This EP is pretty solid as well. I need to go do a little checkup on the band. I've kind of been out of the loop with a lot of things as of late, so if they've released something after this EP, it might have just kind of fallen through the cracks for me, so I'll have to go, definitely need to go check out and see if they have any more material available. Next up, we have a kind of folky, folk-infused black metal project out of, I believe this band is out of New York, possibly New Jersey, somewhere in that general vicinity. This is Herson with their EP entitled Magda. This is an awesome little EP. This has been out for quite some time. Maybe 2013 is when this originally was released. Fun fact, when I got this in, I'll show you on the inside, I kind of tucked away inside the CD booklet. They had a little thank you note and some stickers that came with this. And I just kind of tucked them away in here. And at the time that this came in and I ordered this, I had never even heard of Bandcamp. This came out, so, it's been so long ago. You guys know that I'm always ordering stuff from Bandcamp. There was a Bandcamp download code in this whole time. I had no idea. When I went through doing my video prep this morning, this kind of fell out, and it was still active, as old as it was, and I added that to my Bandcamp collection. So that's pretty awesome. And, I love doing these videos, especially when I revisit something like this. I mean, I've pulled this off the shelf and listened to it, but I haven't really gone through the liner notes and stuff when listening to it. And this was an amazing EP. I absolutely love this, and now I have a digital copy that I can listen to at work and stuff that I never even knew that I had. It's just one track, about 23 minutes, but it is stellar. They released an acoustic version of this. I don't think it ever came out on a physical format, but shortly after, maybe a year or so after this, they did an acoustic version of Magda as well. I really liked that one. Then I have their split they did with the band Thera Roya. Thera Roya is kind of this post-metal, sludgy, kind of atmospheric post-metal. And this kind of split it. They both do one track, but the post-metal, sludgy post-metal, and the kind of folky black metal, they actually work really well on this split. This came out in 2014, so it's been out a while. Unfortunately, Herson is no longer active. This is hand numbered number 243 out of 333. And Thera Roya is still active, but I do enjoy the Herson portion of this a bit more. It's just a band that I found early on and I really liked, and it's very unfortunate to me that they are no longer active. And then I have their only full length, entitled Dust and Ages. I believe I actually did purchase this one from Bandcamp when it was released, so kind of went full progression there. And this came out in 2015, so killer stuff there from Herson. If you haven't checked them out and you're into folky black metal, definitely go check them out. It's Hercyn. That's how you spell that band name. So next up, this is one of those releases that I've learned not to always just judge a release by its cover. I got this in a grab bag from Tribunal Records, and just judging from the cover, it's something that I wasn't really super stoked to check out. I wasn't excited. I didn't think I was going to like it, and when I listened to it, I was kind of blown away by it. This is Hereafter an Odyssey with Human Is as Human Does. This is just a 6-track EP. I mean, you see that it's got the flowers and the pink flowers and stuff on that. It just didn't look like something that was going to be up my alley. This is some pretty solid kind of melodic death metal slash metalcore, and I was pretty stunned with how much I did enjoy this. I haven't listened to it in quite some time now, but I do have a very favorable memory as far as my listens with this material go. So that's one of those things. Don't always judge a CD or album by its cover, because sometimes you may miss out on something great. Next up, I believe I got this out of Metalhead Box. This is a band out of Istanbul, some death metal. This is Heretic Soul with the Nihilistic Attitude. This was released on PRC Music. I don't see the date on this. It's been out for quite some time. This is one that I didn't have high hopes for when I listened to it. It's another one of those that the presentation on this just didn't jump out and scream death metal to me, and it just didn't look like something that I thought I was going to enjoy. I was wrong. It's pretty solid. This was released on PRC Music. Unfortunately, PRC Music kind of does that a lot. Sometimes the layout on their albums just looks almost generic and cheap, and it doesn't just scream to me that I want to check it out. And it's very unfortunate, because they do have a ton of good material under their belt, and this is no different on that. Next up, we have some post-black metal. This is Heritoire with The Circle. I believe this is their latest full length. It has been out for quite some time. I say latest, I think they've only got 2 full lengths. This was released on Northern Silence Productions. It's been out several years now. I think this band's still active. I would like to hear some new material from them, because I did enjoy this. I have not picked up the debut full length. I don't even think I've even listened to that debut, so that's probably something I need to backtrack and do, because I did like this album quite a bit. Next up, another PRC Music release, and I believe I got this one from Metalhead Box as well. This is the debut full length from the band Heraza from, I believe they're out of Croatia. This one is entitled Misanthrope. This is kind of some death metal slash punk. There's some definite punk music vibes going on in this as well, but I do like this. The layout and presentation on this one is a bit better, I will say, than that Heretic Soul release. This is one that I think, just from the artwork and the presentation that the CD's laid out on, something that I would have wanted to check out. It's a pretty solid release. Next up, we have some atmospheric black metal. I don't remember where this band is from, honestly. They have quite a bit of material in their discography, but this is the only release that I have from them. This is Harmadr with Kriegstid. There you go. You kind of get this look at that and think it's going to be some dungeon synthy type stuff, but this is kind of nature-driven atmospheric black metal. It's pretty good. I mean, it's all right. I think that a general consensus of their discography, a lot of people look at this is one of their weaker releases, unfortunately. So maybe that's just why, with this being my introduction, that I haven't really sought out too much more of their material. This is hand numbered. I don't know if the camera will pick it up down there on the bottom. It's 225 out of 500. Next up, we have some hardcore. I got this out of a Relapse Records grab bag years and years and years ago. This is Hero Destroyed with their self-titled. Pretty sure this is a reissue. It was released in 2008. I think the original release was a year or two prior to the Relapse reissue. It's hardcore, kind of technical hardcore. I don't know where this band is from. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say Pennsylvania, because I mean, it just feels like there's so much hardcore there. You can say Pennsylvania and you probably got a 90% chance of being right. So next up, we have a band out of Finland, maybe. This is Hevane with Sound Over Matter. This is kind of progressive thrash metal. Has some like folky vibes going on this as well. It's kind of hard to to nail this down to a specific genre tag. Very melodic material, very catchy stuff, pretty solid. It is the only release that I own from them, but I do like this. I actually revisited this one and gave it a spin not just too terribly long ago, and it was still holding up now as it did back then. This came out in 2006 on Candlelight Records. Next up, we have some, I think this band is out of Finland as well. This is kind of folk music, folk rock, forest, occult, folk rock, I guess, I don't know. This is Hex Vessel with When We Are Death. This is the only release that I own from Hex Vessel. There are some of you I know that are just super, super head over heels into this band, and I get it. I do like this. It's not something that I find myself just returning to over and over and over again, but when the kind of when I have that itch to listen to something like this, it more than suffices, and it is a pretty enjoyable listening experience. At some point, I'll probably seek out some more Hex Vessel material, but it's just not the top priority at the moment. Next up, this one I'm not super huge on. You guys know, like, instrumental stuff I'm not the biggest fan of all the time. For some reason, I just like there to be vocals, especially in like black metal. This is black metal. Instrumental black metal, it kind of gets lost on me sometimes. This is Hugels with Moundstrot. Yeah. This and what's kind of weird to me is, like, this is listed as unblack metal, but there's no vocals. So how can you derive away from black metal and say you're unblack and Christian themed on something that has no vocals? So I don't get it, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, I guess the artists can label the material any way they want, but I mean, it's okay. It is what it is. It's just kind of a placeholder in the collection at this point. Next up, we have some really weird stuff. This is a band called Hidden, out of California. This has got Neil, what's his name? Neil Jameson from Krieg and quite a bit of other bands. NIL, a lot of black metal or blackened theme bands that this guy's a part of. He is the vocalist of this. This is Hidden with Spectral Magnitude. Very progressive, kind of progressive black / doom. There's some death metal that goes on at times in this, and just like bursts. The music itself just kind of comes in bursts on this. I do like it. I was kind of taken aback the first time that I heard this. I wasn't sure how to feel with it, but over the years, this is just a band that's kind of grown on me. And I do own their third release. This is their first release. I don't own their second. I just have the kind of bookend releases. This is their last release, entitled Deadland Energy. This one's pretty phenomenal. This is probably my favorite of their discography. I like this one quite a bit. As you can see, it almost has that like futuristic vibe going on, like technological kind of font on the liner notes and stuff there. But this one I do like. This one leans farther into the kind of progressive black metal realm, and there are still some doomy and occasionally death metal vibes going on, but this one kind of leans more heavily into the black metal realm of things. Next up, band out of Italy. This is Hideous Divinity with their third full length, I'm wanting to say, entitled Advenience. Yeah, I'm sorry if I butchered that. I saw these guys live. I guess it was probably closer to 2 years ago now. They were opening on a tour with Aborted that came through Memphis, and I actually picked this CD up at that show. I like some Hideous Divinity, kind of technical, brutal death metal. This one was released on Unique Leader Records. Sometimes Unique Leader Records material is a little hard to pick up, so I was glad I got to pick this one up when I saw them live. I have their latest full length entitled Simulacrum. Yeah, I think I got this in an order that I did through Night Shift Merch. Could be wrong on that one. This one was released on Century Media. Century Media sometimes kind of falls um, into the trap that Nuclear Blast Records does, that when you order directly from that label, you're going to get just completely robbed on the shipping cost. I try to avoid ordering from Nuclear Blast or Century Media directly any chance that I get, because I just hate the way that they do their shipping. Century Media, not quite as bad as Nuclear Blast. Nuclear Blast is one of the most crooked merchandising labels out there. It's ridiculous the way that they get over on people on their shipping costs. Next up, we have some brutal death metal. This is Hideous Rebirth with Completely Devoured. This is an EP that came out a year or two after their debut full length entitled Partially Devoured. This has some kind of reworked songs from that original full length. I do want to get my hands. I just went blurry. There we go. I do want to get my hands on that debut full length at some point, because I really enjoy Hideous Rebirth, and that is a solid debut album. That's one thing about these collection videos. They end up costing me money. Some people get in the comments and say that their Visa provider loves me, but their wallet and their wives and everybody hates me because I get them to spend money. Hey, I'm doing these videos, and it's making me want to go out and spend more of my money as well, because I definitely want that debut full length from Hideous Rebirth. If anybody's got a copy of that wants to part with it, hit me up. We may be able to work a trade or something as well. Next up, I have the last full length that they put out. This is Hideous Rebirth with La Fossa Coman. And this is stellar as well. It's been out for quite some time, maybe 2018, 2019, since this has come out. So they're definitely due. It still shows them on Metal Archives as an active project. So I'm hoping that we'll get some more Hideous Rebirth material in the future, because I do like this band. It is one of my favorite bands that I've kind of found through Gorehouse Productions, in those grab bags and that type deal. And I'm looking forward to hearing some more material from these guys if they decide to put something out. Next up, a band out of New York. This is Hierarchy with their self-titled debut full length. Pretty solid blackened death metal. I mean, you can just kind of get that blackened death metal feel from that right off the bat. I was hoping to get to see these guys at the Metal Devastation Festival that happened in I think it was September, October this past year. Unfortunately, they had some travel issues and were not able to make it, but I still picked up a CD from their Bandcamp, because I found them just from them being billed on that festival, and it's very solid. So hopefully at some point in the future I will get to see those guys live. Next up, we have some traditional heavy metal, kind of epic sounding. This is High Council with their 2-track EP entitled Ember. This is phenomenal. I got this from Paragon Records not too terribly long ago. I have featured this on the channel already, so I won't spend too much time. Only like 13 minutes or so, 12 or 13 minutes, but it's just a non-stop fun ride for that amount of time. Next up, we have some sludge out of Oakland. This is High on Fire with their debut full-length entitled The Art of Self-Defense. This is the kind of reissue, like deluxe reissue done through Southern Lord. I have a love-hate relationship with High on Fire. It's one of those bands that I just kind of definitely have to be in the mood for to listen to. And I do like a lot of sludgy and doomy stuff, as you guys know. It's got this huge like booklet and everything in there, but it's just one of those bands. As you'll see, I have a bit of their material, but the majority of this stuff I've received. I think I got that in the Metalhead box, and every one of these other albums that I own from the band, I think I've gotten in a grab bag. So it's not a band that I just seek out their material, but I hold on to it when I get it, because it does have a place in my listening experience. We have High on Fire with Snakes for the Divine. This full length is probably one of my favorites from the band. It came out in 2010, and this one gets overlooked for the most part of their discography. But I do like this one. I tend to have, that's the way my tastes tend to go, though. Usually I'm not real big on live albums, but this is one of the better live albums that I've heard as well. So, I mean, I'm definitely not knocking High on Fire at all. This is their live from the Relapse Contamination Festival in Philadelphia from January 19th, 2005. So, for something to be this old, coming, what, 18 years? Almost 18 years, this month it'll be 18 years old. And the sound quality on this is very good for it to be a live album. And I did dig this one, so I can't knock them just too much. Obviously, I got this in a Relapse Records grab bag. It was released on Relapse. I used to enjoy those Relapse grab bags a bit more than I do. The last several haven't been, the last few, at least, last two maybe, just haven't been that great. And then I have the latest full length from High on Fire entitled Electric Messiah. I got this in that little E1 heavy label, kind of, I think it was like a 5 CD grab bag or something. This one, it's pretty decent. I haven't really spent a ton of time with this one, so I can't really speak on it just too terribly much. But as far as Matt Pike, especially the sludgy style, doomy stuff goes, I mean, High on Fire is definitely the top tier of his material. Next up, we have High Spirits with You Are Here, kind of hard rock, very catchy hard rock, teeters into that traditional heavy metal sound as well. I believe this band is out of Chicago. Very catchy stuff. This is the only release that I own from them. I got this in one of those Hell's Headbangers, so many CDs for so much, or when they were having like a huge sale, probably close to Black Friday or something one year. But I did enjoy it. I was pretty impressed with this. This is another one just based on the artwork and stuff. It's not something, even the style of music, not something that I would have probably just sought out and listened to on my own. But someone actually recommended this. I think at one point it might have been Sean Count Blagreth that spoke highly of this, and that was my kind of reason for checking that out, and I was pretty impressed with that. Next up, we have Highness with Hold. This is some more kind of catchy, very catchy rock style music. It's got the singer from Christie Front Drive, which is an emo project. This is another one of his million side projects or whatever that he does. Very different type stuff. It is catchy. There are a few kind of heavier moments, but it's not just a super heavy release. It's not for everybody. I haven't revisited this in some time, but for what it is, I do remember enjoying it. It's just not something that I'm gonna throw on all the time and listen to. Next up, we have some folk metal. That'll may be a bit of a stretch, but this is Hildur Valkyrie with Revealing the Heathen Sun. Hildur Valkyrie is she's in Folkodia, Folk Earth, those two other bands. Kind of the same kind of feel here with the folk going on. I mean, there are some moments of the folk metal going, but for the majority of this, you're getting like straightforward folk music. But her vocals on this are amazing, and I do like this. This is the last full length. The one prior to this, I think it's called like Shield Brothers of Valhalla or something along those. I've tried to buy that CD like 2 or 3 times, and every time that I've bought it, there's been something go wrong. At one point, one of the 3 actually arrived, but it was this CD inside of the case. So I had the case and everything, but the wrong CD. And then the 2 other times, one time the Postal Service just lost the package. It never arrived at all, so I had to get refunded. And then the 3rd time, the seller canceled. So I just kind of gave up on getting that other full length, and I do want it. I looked on Discogs while I was doing my prep for this, and there are some available, but at some point I may just go on and try for the 4th time to get myself a copy of that, because it's been a little bit of a ridiculous ride trying to get my hands on that release. And then last but not least, we have Hills of Sephiroth with Fly High the Hated Black Flag. This is a black metal project out of Georgia. Features Justin Stubbs of Inconfination, Father Befouled. He had I don't know if he's still doing the YouTube videos where he was showing his personal CD collection or not. Dude's in like a ton of musical projects on top of everything else. I don't know how he ever has time to sleep. I think he's pretty much put Hills of Sephiroth to bed. I don't think that this project is still active. There were several releases under this moniker, but I think it's something that he's stepped away from at this point. I do like this one pretty well, though. But that's all I've got for this one. Be back next Sunday with continuing on, still marching through the H section. I got some other stuff that I need to show. I have a package coming tomorrow, so hopefully I'll have a collection uploaded this week as well. So that's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. Hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you very soon.